Well, welcome to Suffolk Sail and Saltmarsh. Mark here again. And don't feel that you've already seen this one, because this is just a little recap of what we looked at in video number 13, which was the last one we did. And this is the Atlas, and Mark, yes, working on the Atlas. And this video is about the Atlas's first trip up to Snape on the River Old. With Mark and his family, and myself, Sue, and Paul and Lisa, our friends, in our boat, the Sweet Sue. So, before we go any further, I just need to say to you, please like and subscribe the channel. The more subscribers we get, the more we can do, and the better it is for everyone. These Thames barge boats were obviously the barges, the sailing barges on the Thames, and they had boats like this as their tenders, if you like, so that people could get ashore and bring provisions on board, and generally they were rowed. So this boat would have been rowed backwards and forwards. It may have had a small sail on it, could have been sculled as well, may have had a small sail on it, but certainly wouldn't have been set up in the way that Mark has developed this boat for Wild Way boats. And the centreboard and centreboard casing is all his own design, and he has made this, as you'll see in the video, an absolutely brilliant sailing boat. And it really gets along in the water. So, anyway, we're going to go down to the river, and we're going to get this boat rigged, or Mark is going to get it rigged, and I'm going to float around looking at the boat from the water, and we'll see how it goes from there. As I say, this is the Sargasso. At this point, that was being fitted out, and that's made out of fiberglass, which the hull was taken off an original, and then the mould created, and the woodwork is Iroko. See there, Sargasso. And very smart too. You can always whip forward if you want to miss this bit, if you've already seen it. But there's not a lot more of it to go. That's a little closer to being finished, and I think just a few finishing points on the woodwork, and then rigging it, and here we are. This is the Mark trying his best to rig this boat. Now, before anyone says, well, why did he rig it on that side of the jetty? It's because there's mooring lines the other side, and very, very hard to get off. You could see he was getting the jib sorted out there and setting the mainsail. Now he's got the jib sorted, and this little boat is cutting along brilliantly. Now on this boat he's got his wife Terry, who makes the sails up, and she makes covers and that sort of thing for the boats, and his two children, Erin and Cara. And you can see that Cara has decided to sit right up at the bow. That did make Mark believe that perhaps Sargasso wouldn't sail too well. But it did sail well, as you can see. It's really getting along. And it wasn't that breezy a day. Can't get that. I'll get my head in it. Now we've got round the corner at Eighton Church, and unfortunately we couldn't sail. When I put my boat up for the on the buoy. She sits, unfortunately, on the mud, and unfortunately that had packed up into the centreboard box and wouldn't let the centreboard down, so we had the motor. So unfortunately there's a little bit of sound there. Now the other beauty of this boat is, as you can see, it is so light and so easy to manoeuvre, and Mark was able to row it when the wind is wrong, and he's cutting along faster than we were with the outboard. This is coming up past Aiken, as you can see. Terrier's on the helm. Probably the kids are on the Haribos. Just begin to pick a little more breeze up now, which is lovely. He hasn't got to row too hard. And a very, very pleased Mark. Thumbs up. And down the river we have come on the Tilly 2, which is the boat out of Snipe Mountains, where you can go for a river trip. Back of Lisa's Head. Oh, and then back of Lisa's Head again. Oh, and something to do with Paul as well. Anyway, they're getting as much film as they can, and I just want to say thank you to Lisa and Paul, because some of the film in this they took and did an excellent job as well. And the main amount of film in this was from Sue. She filmed it because I was too busy on the tiller. This part of the river where the river wall was breached for bird life and sort of flooding those marshes out. Just that I wonder whether we ought to start collecting milk bottles. Whether Mark and me ought to be the phantom Withy putters. Yeah, well, that comment was made because the Withies weren't done this year, and as far as we know, and if they were, they fell over, and it is a nightmare getting up there, even in small boats, particularly small boats without echo sounders on. This is coming up to Snipe Mountains, Benjamin Britten's legacy, and Mark was just having to have a little row again because the wind has dropped even more. And the river meanders at this point and seems to go round and round corners, and although you seem to think you're getting closer to the mountains, but you aren't. Well, you are, but it seems very slow, but it doesn't matter. So picturesque. There's someone out hiking, walking down the river path. Mark's having another little row, but he's still making really good time. We've got a 2.5 horsepower Yamaha on the back of the little boat, and he really was getting along. Now coming up to the final corner. That is, of course, is the concert hall, and Snipe Food Festival is there as well. There's shops, bars, restaurants. It is a lovely spot. It's a lovely spot if you drive down to it, but it's better still if you sail up to it. That's fantastic. You can see how easily that boat is moving. The tide is more or less at slack, and he's moving very, very well. here's the barge, which is usually moored up at the mountains. Again, a lot of people have seen that. And the road bridge. And the Tilly 2 is has beaten us, just about beaten us back. But then that has got the advantage of having a very big engine. So we came up to the mountains, and there wasn't a lot of room to tie up, so we had to raft up against another boat or two. This is Mark just manoeuvring in. And this is the mountains outside outside one of the cafes, and we decided that a cream cake and a cup of hot chocolate was a good idea. It was quite a chilly morning, because this is only about a couple of weeks ago now.
Ooh. I think we've got past between that boat and that withy, haven't we, to its left?
Yeah.
Paul on the helm and me sitting up the front, because I needed to try and spot the mud if I could. This is Mark sailing now nicely. Going back towards Sandy Point. And these are just about to heave to, because the fact of the matter was that we're on a fallen tide, and it was better to drop the sails and row in and sort ourselves out than it was to try and sail in. There's a lot of mud at this area, and the tide dropped really quickly. So anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. We all did. And I'll leave you with some photographs of our adventure. Thanks very much for watching, and if you'd like to like and subscribe, that'd be great. And if also you fancy a boat like the Atlas barge boat, have a look at Wildway Boats on wildwayboats.co.uk. Thanks for watching. See you next time.